In the past 2 weeks, Justin Trudeau has tried to portray himself as a champion of protesters, the farmers in India. The Canadian Prime Minister has meddled in India's internal affairs twice. On both occasions, he said a lot. But now Justin Trudeau has gone silent. Fingers are being raised at his own government. The government of Justin Trudeau spent billions of dollars of public funds in the name of pandemic aid, but there's no accountability. The Trudeau government refuses to say who got this money, and we're not talking about a small sum. We are talking about $240 billion here, $240 billion. The investigation has been carried out by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, or CBC, the National Public Broadcaster of Canada. They have been probing how the Trudeau government distributed financial aid during this pandemic. According to this report, $240 billion have been distributed, but no one knows who got this money. Here is what the report says. The Canadian government has launched more than 100 programs since the pandemic began, but only a few departments have released details of how they're spending this money. There are no details of the individuals, groups or companies which have received government funds. CBC tried to gather this information, but some government departments have been fighting the broadcaster, quote-unquote, tooth and nail. The Trudeau government is denying them this information. In other words, billions of dollars have been spent from the public exchequer. The question is, where has this money gone? And the answer is the government's silence. Does it sound like a scam? The Canadian press is not calling it a scam just yet. They're still investigating the programs, but big numbers are being thrown up. Listen to this. More than $16 billion was given to government agencies and departments. The Canadian government expects to hand out more money. Like I said, $240 billion has been given out so far. By March next year, the Trudeau government could spend well over $300 billion. Let me give you one figure that shows how big this relief program is. The Trudeau government has been spending, on average, $40 million every hour, $40 million every hour since March this year. The money has gone in all directions. It has been spent on personal protection kits. It has gone towards supporting those who've lost their jobs. It has even been given to businesses to help them survive, and that's where it gets murky. According to reports, the Trudeau government has not shared which businesses got this money and how much. What about oversight? Doesn't Canada have a system to keep government spending in check? What about the Canadian Parliament? Canada's House of Commons has committees to investigate government spending programs. And quite conveniently, they are just not available to investigate right now. The Parliamentary Finance Committee has been disbanded. The spending without accountability spells trouble for Canada because the country's borrowing is at a record high. The Justin Trudeau government wants to borrow more money. Reports say a bill is being planned to raise Canada's debt ceiling to $1.4 trillion. This will be an increase of 57%. So the Trudeau government could borrow well over $1 trillion. Maybe it wants to spend its way out of this pandemic and the economic recession it has created. But the question we started with still remains. Where is this money going? Who is getting it and how much? Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is so busy supporting protesters in faraway countries. He seems to not have found time to answer these questions. Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.